This episode of It's the End of the World as We Know It and I Feel Fine was made possible by contributions from slaves like you. Thank you very much.
This is a policeman. The policeman makes sure that everybody is safe. He directs traffic and tells you where to walk. He pushes the subway and makes it go. Then he makes the stripes for candy canes. Then he slides down his pole and puts out a fire. At 3 o'clock, he dives into the East River. Then he jumps back out. Then he dances naked. And then he cries himself to sleep.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine.
Good morning, slaves, and welcome to a very motherfucking special edition of It's the End of the World as We Know It and I Feel Fine. The show where sometimes good things happen by accident.
It's horrific to watch. Albuquerque Police Lieutenant Greg Brackle shooting one of his own.
Oh, that was Jacob! Are you okay? No. Come on out, dude. Come on. I'm sorry, man. I didn't know it was you. Come here, Jacob.
I am your host, Stimulator, and as fans of the show will know, I've been shit-canned for 9 long fucking months by those chair-farting keyboard jockeys at subMedia.
Her name is Noam Chomsky.
Some of you motherfuckers may also remember that back in September, I got sick of the shitty writing and piss poor YouTube ratings of my new show, The Fucking News, and decided to take a fucking walk. Rather than meeting me halfway and giving me something to actually fucking work with, those kombucha-sipping subMedia taint pirates decided to cut me loose so they could spend even more fucking time working on their mopey, boring-ass fucking vanity project Trouble. But I wasn't gonna go out like that, so I decided to take matters into my own hands. Well, not fucking hands. You know what I mean.
Stim, buddy, you don't have to do this. I get it, you're not happy, but, help me help you. I know. Let's grab a taco and have a chit-chat about this, okay? Yeah?
Dude, about fucking time. I've always hated that guy. Let's bust out the nipple clamps.
Oh, hello. Now you're talking.
And blowtorch.
You're a sick fuck agitator. Anyway, we got a bunch of shit to cover, so let's quit fucking around and dive right into it. First up, in environmental news, shit's still fucked.
The planet's on fucking fire. This is an actual crisis. Safety glasses off, motherfuckers.
After years of repeated warnings that humanity was fast approaching an ecological tipping point,
dire warning about climate change.
The collapse of our civilizations and the extinction of much of the natural world is on the horizon.
The UN panel says governments around the world must take rapid action to curb rising temperatures.
No, I don't believe it.
IPCC scientists' most recently recalibrated deadline, issued back in October, says we've basically got 12 years to rein shit in before an irreversible chain reaction of natural feedback loops takes over and climate change goes into full fucking autopilot. At which point, there'll be fuck all left to do but buckle up and enjoy the terrifying roller coaster ride as it hurdles us towards the sunken coastal cities and all-around scorched hellscape of tomorrow. And the next turd on the veritable shit Sunday that is our mid-range ecological forecast was pinched up earlier this month by the eggheads at the Intergovernmental Panel on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, or IPBES, who are now warning that 1 million fucking species of plants and animals are currently facing the threat of imminent extinction due to human activity. Now, this news is the kind of shit that's so fucking bleak that it's hard to wrap your head around. I mean, how the fuck do you rebel against extinction?
The Green New Deal.
Oh, fuck right off.
Extinction Rebellion.
The action itself is not actually that important. It's the going to prison.
That's fucking stupid.
Now, if you were like me, the first time you heard the name Extinction Rebellion, you probably thought, oh shit, Bill McKibben must have started a straight-edge vegan hardcore band. But turns out it's just a group of pissed off tree huggers trying to fight climate change by supergluing themselves to shit. In the UK, ground zero of the so-called rebellion, protesters have carried out a number of non-violent actions such as supergluing themselves to trains, blocking bridges, supergluing themselves to revolving doors, occupying offices, supergluing themselves to the London Stock Exchange, coordinating mass die-ins, and stripping down to thongs and supergluing themselves to Parliament.
That was gross.
Fuck off!
All of this has been part of an intentional strategy of getting shit tons of people arrested.
They don't know where to go. You're supposed to tell them.
Go to prison.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The arrests aren't happening quick enough.
In order to force the government to, quote, tell the truth about climate change. Well, let me help you all out with that shit. The motherfucking truth about climate change is that stripping down to your skeevies and getting eye-diddled by Ed Miliband during the Brexit debate does fuck all to stop climate change, and you're not going to prevent the extinction of all life on Earth by laying down and pretending to be dead. Now, don't get me wrong, I think it's great that tons of people who've never been to a protest are now starting to realize the need to take drastic action, and are now starting to push their own comfort zones accordingly. But the grim motherfucking reality is that this late in the fucking game, we're way past the spreading awareness phase of this shit. At the end of the day, feel-good pacifist stunts aimed at convincing capitalists and their ventriloquist suit dummies to do the right thing are a giant waste of time and motherfucking energy. If you're gonna get arrested, make it fucking count.
You're a fucking pig.
Welcome to the 6th mass extinction.
Before collapse, before the rapture, before bits of bricks and broken glasses, before scores of storms flatten us, habitats dried up and cracked. After NAFTA, the disastrous supranational trade pact and unfettered access to capital. Before the crash that ended crashes. After the green light on greed, governments governing by agreement. Design signed by the company chief, by and for corporate supersede. Override the needs of life before we die, cause they sign it. The sky cracked and society took 2 gigantic steps backwards. After the passage of Trade Act, enacted and activated aftermath. After apathy carved path through green pasture. After fascists, after Keynesian market strategists built the patterns that killed the planet. After knowing, but as it manifests, big business gets a grab at it. After the new management, after aftermath, it got added in. Subtraction, resource extraction. After markets are made the master. Before collapse, before the rapture, before the bricks and the glass.
Since I've been on my forced fucking vacation, my face crack account has been lighting up with peeps wanting to know one thing.
When are you doing a video on yellow jackets?
Well, you persistent motherfuckers, today's your lucky day. Jimmy, cue up that sweet, sweet French riot porn. In case your plane crashed and you've been trapped on a South Pacific island for 6 months with no bars.
Welcome
The movement the Gilets Jaunes, or the movement of the insurgent crossing guards, has been a sometimes confusing, yet often intense storm of protests, blockades, sabotage actions, and recurring riots that's been tearing shit up in France since November of last year. Because every French citizen is constitutionally required to spend 2 months as a crossing guard as part of the patriotic civil service to the Republic, most peeps have yellow vests and state-assigned whistle at home, making it easy for everyone to suit up and join the fun.
Let's all play together. Together, let's play along. Play with me, play with you. Together, let's play along. Wow!
The movement began with a call for participants to put their slick traffic calming skills to good use by setting up rural roadblocks across the country. This came as a direct response to a whack fucking fuel tax proposed by France's dipshit president Emmanuel Macron, which would have fallen particularly hard on working class peeps living in rural areas across the country. Since November 17th, the crossing guards have been holding weekly protests every Saturday, many of which have turned into full-scale fucking riots, especially in and around Paris. Macron since has agreed to reverse the fuel tax that initially kicked shit off and has offered a package of additional economic reforms. But the crossing guards seem to be having too much fun tearing the fucking country apart to give two shits. So far, over the course of the crossing guards' ongoing insurrection, Paris' fabled shopping promenade, the Champs-Élysées, has been smashed the fuck up, looted and burned. The Arc de Triomphe has been turned into a fucking war zone. Anti-fascists have violently ejected far-right protesters from demos. A pro-boxer knocked a riot cop on his ass. Hundreds of luxury cars have been torched. Over 60% of the country's traffic cameras have been destroyed. And the slow-rolling insurgency has claimed several $1 billion in combined damages and economic disruption. In short, the country has been imbued with a particularly late capitalist form of joie de vivre, but that joie de vivre isn't shared by everyone. As a result of the protests, the extra long hours at work getting spat on and having bottles hucked at them, constantly being told to fuck off by little old ladies, fascist! And the abject sinking realization that they are total fucking failures as human beings, many French pigs have decided to do the world a favor and fucking off themselves. A shocking amount, really. Like, cops are killing themselves at 36 times the rate of the average population. 1 every 4 days. And these crossing guard motherfuckers are stoked about it. They've even come up with a new chant.
Disgusting.
I know, right, agitator? I mean, have some respect for the dead.
Good one, Stim.
Oh yeah, there's also been a bit of a copycat crossing guard movement here in Canada too. But it's mainly a gaggle of white nationalist shit puppets from Alberta who are pissed off at the internet because they fucking love pipelines, hate JT, love Trump, and are scared fucking shitless that the UN is hatching a sinister globalist plot to teleport hordes of Syrian refugees into Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, in order to impose a one-world government and Sharia law. In other words, they're delusional fucking losers.
They're exporting third world populations to use them as weapons against the West.
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit.
Attention the stimulator. We know you're in there. Come out with your hands up. Come out with your eyes closed. We saw that joke about cop suicide. You're under arrest, you goddamn son of a bitch.
You'll never take a salah, you fucking pigs.
Oh fuck, it's agitator.
In other news, for the second year in a row, anarchists in Indonesia have turned out in full fucking force for May Day, attacking a police station in Jakarta, carrying out marches and rallies in several other cities, and rocking a black bloc 1,000 deep in Bandung. And for the second year in a row, the Indonesian 5-0 flipped the fuck out. Following the Bandung Black Bloc, 619 people were detained, beaten, publicly humiliated, and arrested by the local police. 3 comrades remain in prison, while an unknown number of others have been disappeared by the state security forces. In cities across the country, the Indonesian state intelligence apparatus has turned its attention to mapping out the anarchist movement, and many comrades have been forced to go underground. Anyone who knows the modern history of Indonesia will know that it takes some serious fucking chutzpah to openly identify yourself as an anti-capitalist there, or to otherwise challenge the authority of the Indonesian state. This is, after all, The same country where between 1965 and 1966, somewhere between 500,000 and 3 million people were murdered in a massive anti-communist purge initiated by the Suharto military regime and carried out with the assistance of the US military establishment. This slaughter, one of the worst mass killings in the 20th century, ruthlessly wiped out what was, at the time, the fourth largest communist party in the world, along with an untold number of peasants, ethnic minorities, and other so-called communist sympathizers. The fucking psychopath who planned and executed this massacre managed to stay in power for the following 3 decades, and were never held to account whatsoever. And while the Suharto military dictatorship formally transitioned into a democracy in 1998, the same ruling class is still running the show. Public acknowledgement of these atrocities has long been suppressed. There was never any type of national reconciliation process, and violent anti-communist sentiment is still widespread. Given the serious fucking state of repression faced by these comrades, solidarity is urgently needed. Anarchists there have called for support in the form of rallies and actions, targeting Indonesia's international embassies and consulates, as well as donations to help cover transportation and legal costs. If your crew is looking to throw a fundraiser, or you've got some cash that you don't mind parting with, you can send Skrilla to paypal.me/adnandi. Meanwhile, a big fucking salute to the bravery of peeps in Indonesia as they weather the repression.
From Noble Bay to the East Bay, we stay surviving where we stay. They keep invading where we lay. There's no debating that we pay. That naval base up in Subic Bay to all the places that they tried to take. From Magellan's days to Phillips Raid, when the land was raped and they changed the way. To my father drowning in the alcohol. Then my mama always be up in the Escanal, cause these thoughts make the brown skin start to crawl. So I take the cushion just to break the fall. Second class citizen, never been one. Traded the peso so we can have ones. Darker the skin and you scared of the sun. Silence to speak with an accent and tongue. All of these faces I'm looking like none. Taught to forget all the places I'm from, but we grew up on the barrio and slums. My aunties be drinking that red horse and rum. Never be stopping, the work's never done. Long as they keep on corrupting the funds, thinking the damage is done and they won. But we stay militant daughters and sons. Let's take it back to the day of first grade. All of you thinking of throwing me shade. My people are roses that grew in the shade. We came up in places exploited by trade. I kill 'em with a bar so hot cause it's top notch. Thinking that your top might stop, not on my watch. Like it's 12:30 on the dot on the clock watch. All I see your hands up and down when the beat drops. Cause this is roll call, I'm taking names out. We only go raw, I'm taking aim now. And when it's roll call, they know my name now. I make them all fall, I'm about to break out.
One of the best things about being the platform for the past 9 months by those fucking Judases at subMedia was that I haven't had to constantly weigh in with hot takes about the United Snakes' cheese whiz colored geriatric man-baby-in-chief, Donald fucking Trump. That shit was really grinding me down. It's no secret that the orange one is a fucking megalomaniac who's notoriously addicted to attention and low-key addicted to Adderall, Big Macs, Fox and Friends, and the Penthouse Letters Taboo series. And by constantly saying balls out deranged shit like,
I'm a very stable genius.
Or,
China has total respect for Donald Trump's very, very large brain.
This surreal, dim-witted used car salesman has managed to stay permanently fixated in the media spotlight for nearly 3 fucking years, while warping the very fabric of reality around him like a bent fucking spoon. Turning everyone into depressed, anxious, rage-filled spectators of the reality TV show gone amok that has become our contemporary reality.
You're fired. President Trump has fired his director of the Secret Service.
The president has asked Secretary of State Rex Tillerson to step aside.
How long has he been in the job, Scaramucci? The mooch has been in the job like a week and some change.
But since I'm back, fuck it.
Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Now, clearly, there's way too much heinous and fucked up shit that the Orange One has done, said, or tweeted since I've been away for me to cover even a fraction of it here. So I'll just have to stick to the juicy bits.
Oh! Juicy bits! I got juicy bits.
And the juiciest bit of all has been the so-called Mueller report, an investigation launched by the hashtag Deep State's best Elliot Ness impersonator, previous top pick to the feds, Bob Mueller. For 2 years, this high-stakes investigation has served as an embarrassing herpes sore on the lip of the American presidency. And for 2 years, self-described anti-capitalist radicals have cheered on the former director of the fucking FBI for some fucking reason, as he has sought to answer the single most burning question of our generation. When Donald Trump threw that motherfucking piss party in that Moscow hotel room, was he the golden shower-er or the golden shower-e?
What a stupid question.
And in the end, that motherfucker didn't even tell us. A top-shelf dick move that shocked and angered Democrats and pundit journalists like Rachel Maddow and Glenn Greenwald.
Oh. The outrage that any country would dare to interfere in our sacred and glorious democracy. The whole thing was a scam and a fraud from the beginning. We were talking about Putin blackmailing Donald Trump with PP tapes, and I hope that gets way more attention. Rachel Maddow will continue to make $10 million a year for NBC, and there will be no reckoning and consequences for this story that the media got radically, fundamentally, and deliberately wrong. Just, I think I'm gonna have to hand this off. Yeah. Sorry. What ideology and what group of people are responsible for PP tapes?
Whoa, calm the fuck down, Glenn. Anyway, adding to the circus-like atmosphere of the Mueller report was the explosive testimony of the Orange One's former lawyer and fixer and current snitch, Michael Cohen, as he publicly ratted out his former boss to members of Congress. Cohen is now bracing himself to serve a reduced sentence of 3 years in Club Fed, where he will split his time between playing dominoes, taking woodworking classes, and trying his best to dodge shanks from Russian mobsters. Cohen ended his snitch session to Congress with this ominous fucking warning.
Given my experience working for Mr. Trump, I fear that if he loses the election in 2020, that there will never be a peaceful transition of power.
Which, to Cohen's credit, seems increasingly likely, given Trump's recent demands for a mulligan of his first 2 years in office. But while the idea of the Orange One moving to annul the next election so that he can have a fucking do-over may strike most peeps as a terrifying worst-case scenario, at the end of the day, at least we wouldn't have to sit through the debauched fucking spectacle of the 2020 horse race. Am I right? Plus, it might even save us from Kanye or the Zuck eventually taking the presidential reins in 2024. I mean, Trump would be pretty fucking inept as far as all-powerful dictators go. And who knows, maybe shattering the illusion of popular control over their system of government will push more Americans off the fucking hamster wheel of false hope, freeing them from a delusion that holds the entire global population hostage to the psychotic whims of a two-party kleptocracy that is rapidly driving humanity, Thelma and Louise style, off a giant fucking cliff into the motherfucking ocean. Maybe peace will shut off Netflix for a fucking minute, pick up one of the millions of guns lying around, and use it to actually liberate themselves and the rest of humanity from the tyrannical yoke of American imperialism. I mean, I fucking doubt it. But either way, you can be sure there's no fucking chance in hell that Bernie's gonna win.
Stim, the fucking pigs are breaking in.
Gotta go? Hey, Stim, face me when you wanna grab that taco, eh?
Ah shit, that's the fucking pig! Mange la merde, va chier, ce peu sale de Christ, va chier!
Oh snap. Stim, do you see that? Stim?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers. Oh, agitator, no! Ah, donkey balls. Well, that about does it for this edition of It's the End of the World As We Know It and I Feel Fine. Big shout out to all y'all motherfuckers who supported me over the years. It's been one hell of a motherfucking ride. This looks like the end for me, but remember, don't take any shit and avenge my ass. Hasta la pasta, compañeros.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine.
What the fuck?
Tell me what you gonna do, but it ain't nowhere to run. When judgment comes for you, when judgment comes for you, tell me what you gonna do, when it ain't nowhere to hide. When judgment comes for you, 'cause it's gonna come for you.
Yo, Stim, that shit was fucking crazy.
What the fuck's going on? Where is this place?
Cop Killer Heaven, man. We fucking made it.
Oh, snap.